Episode number 188. I'm a crotchety old thing, and always shall be, but I'm willing to own that you're right. Only it's easier for me to risk my life for a person than to be pleasant to him when I don't feel like it. It's a great misfortune to have such strong likes and dislikes, isn't it? It's a greater not to be able to hide them. I don't mind saying that I don't approve of Tudor any more than you do, but I'm not called upon to tell him so. Neither are you, and there is no use in making yourself disagreeable, because he is. But I think girls ought to show when they disapprove of young men, and how can they do it except by their manners? Preaching does not do any good, as I know to my sorrow, since I've had Teddy to manage. But there are many little ways in which I can influence him without a word, and I say we ought to do it to others if we can. Teddy is a remarkable boy, and can't be taken as a sample of other boys, said Amy, in a tone of solemn conviction, which would have convulsed the remarkable boy if he had heard it. If we were belles, or women of wealth and position, we might do something, perhaps, but for us to frown at one set of young gentlemen, because we don't approve of them, and smile upon another set, because we do, wouldn't have a particle of effect, and we should only be considered odd and puritanical. So we're to countenance things and people which we detest, merely because we're not belles and millionaires, are we? That's a nice sort of morality. I can't argue about it, I only know that it's the way of the world, and people who set themselves against it only get laughed at for their pains. I don't like reformers, and I hope you never try to be one. I do like them, and I shall be one, if I can, for in spite of the laughing the world would never get on without them. We can't agree about that, for you belong to the old set, and I to the new. You will get on the best, but I shall have the liveliest time of it. I should rather enjoy the breakdance and hooting, I think. Well, compose yourself now, and don't worry with your new ideas. I'll try not to, but I'm always possessed to burst out with some particularly blunt speech or revolutionary sentiment before her. It's my doom, and I can't help it. They found Aunt Carol with the old lady, both absorbed in some very interesting subject, but they dropped it as the girls came in, with a conscious look which betrayed that they had been talking about their nieces. Joe was not in a good humor, and the perverse fit returned, but Amy, who had virtuously done her duty, kept her temper, and pleased everybody, was in a most angelic frame of mind. This amiable spirit was felt at once, and both aunts, my dear, her affectionately, looking what they afterward said emphatically, "That child improves every day." "Are you going to help about the fair, dear?" asked Mrs. Carroll, as Amy sat down beside her with the confiding air elderly people like so well in the young. "Yes, Aunt. Mrs. Chester asked me if I would, and I offered to tend the table, as I have nothing but my time to give.